You're such an asshole.
We have beleaguered and ill Cappy, who just got the shingles vaccine, and it will beat your ass. So, for those of you middle age approaching 50, you can expect to be down for an entire day and you will be tired. And about the only thing I'm good for right now is consulting because I am not worth going to the gym. Uh, I do coach women. I can't coach. I hate that word. I slipped. Oh, God. I consult the occasional woman because occasionally things get so bad. How bad do they get? They get so bad. A woman might actually pay for a man's opinion. Whoa, that's pretty bad. Is she going to follow your advice? Things are never that bad. Come on. Come on. They don't want to fall in love and find a guy that much. This is just treatment, like you read the book about diet, but you never do anything in the book about diet. And that's where most Americans live, in this haze. This never doing the thing to achieve success. But I read the book. So I will give the quick preamble before we get on to the new advice, which isn't news, but we're going to introduce it anyway. The preamble for any of you girls tuning into is this. You shouldn't even be bothering about getting a guy unless you're willing to get in shape. That's it, right? And that has to be said at the onset of any kind of like, how do I get the guys? Because if you're not going to be physically attractive, then there's no point in bothering. And that's a you question. All right. But there's no point in working on your personality or other non-physical aspects unless you're going to be physically attractive. Because if you're not willing to be physically attractive, then at the end of the day, you do not want a relationship with a guy. Guys, it's the same thing, a little bit less so maybe. That's why I told all the guys, lose weight and go to the gym. Then we'll talk. And the same thing here, ladies. Lose weight, become physically attractive, and then we'll talk. And if you don't want to do that, that is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. You just need to realize then you are not going to get the guys that you want. So you have to decide now. You either are going to commit to a lifetime. You're not doing the bait and switch where you get hot for 1 year and then you get fat after you marry the guy, because then he'll just run out and cheat on you and won't be happy. You either accept and commit to the lifetime obligation of staying physically attractive, or you don't. And that's a serious commitment. I understand if it's much easier, much more relaxing to just eat and not work out. And that's a perfectly fine option as well. But there is no scenario in the real world where you are overweight and not attractive and you find a guy. It doesn't happen. So, assuming you want to get the guy that much that you are willing to stay in shape for the rest of your life, the question then becomes, how do you actually keep a man? Because surprise, you girls are finding out that the guys will fuck you, but they won't commit to you. So your real question is, how do I keep a guy? All right. And main number one thing, again, as I said before, stay physically attractive. But the other thing, and it's so simple. Everyone's like, look, all you got to do is be thin, be nice, and don't be a pain in the ass. It really is that. But let us talk about another concept called a liability. You may not realize it, and people may not realize it, but everyone is a liability to everybody else, because when you spend time with someone else, they are spending their time with you. Therefore, there's a risk their time might be wasted, right? If you go hang out with your buddy and you treat him like shit, that becomes a liability, right? You are a liability. That is a cost to that person. So any relationship, doesn't matter if it's dating or not, any relationship has the risk that it will become a liability or parasitic, that someone's going to invest their time into you and it's not going to be worth it to them in the end. And I want to delve a little bit more into this concept of a liability. So I don't think anyone purposely sets out maliciously to be a pain in the ass and a liability, but people do it unconsciously. Right? And if you want to separate yourself from you from the rest of the girls and make yourself the one that stands out, it's really important you girls understand what a liability is, at least in terms of or the context of a dating and romantic relationship with a guy. So all liability is, at least in financial terms, is that it is a future payment that must be made. Your mortgage, that's 30 years of future monthly payments, right? Your car loan, your student loans is usually financial. But it could be a payment in other resources. We always focus on money because that's normally what we make financial transactions with. But there are three resources in the world that every person has. That is time, money, and mental energy. And if you can not be a liability or a minimum liability in those three ways, you are going to do probably, that's the second most important thing you can do to keep a guy. One, stay in physical shape. Two, not be a liability or a pain in the ass. What does that mean? Let's look at the three payment methods: money, time, and mentality. All right. Money. I cannot emphasize this much enough, girls. If you are younger, please do not come to the table with a shit ton of student loan debt for a worthless degree. If you're a doctor, not a Joe Biden fake doctor, I mean a real medical doctor, and you have medical school debt, all right, that's different. But don't be the typical teeny bopper coming in $48,000 in student loan debt for your journalism degree. Knock it off. Don't do that. Also, don't have credit card debt. Because going into the future, in theory, a relationship is a kind of a combination of individuals into an us, into a singular unit of sort. Even if you're not married, there's a relationship, and then your problem becomes his problem, and his problems become your problem. It's our problem because the person I care about, they got a problem. Well, if you have financial debts, like just monetary debts, that's a liability. You say, well, I don't expect them to pay it. Yeah, but now you got to go and work a lot. That's less time he gets to spend with you. You're financially stressed, which means you're going to be in a lesser mood than you were before. Financial stress will put stress on the relationship. And I understand you're going to incur some debt for some college, and certainly maybe you got to get yourself a car. There are instances where there's an appropriate amount of debt, or you buy a house. Okay, that's considered good debt generally. But that's the I wish men would kill to have. What's the only debt she's got? A mortgage. Oh, that's hot. That's really hot. You really want to wow a guy? Have an IRA account, have a retirement plan ready. Even if you're young, the fact you have one set up and you contribute to it, that's going to be an asset. That's not even his asset. All I'm saying is, if you are a financial liability and you bring that to the relationship, even though he may not have to pay for it, he's going to have to deal with it due to the stress that it puts on you and lessens your mood and happiness. And then also, if meaning you guys like us in a relationship, want to buy a house, yeah, now your finances are affecting him. So you want to do something that you want to separate yourself from all the other girls, pay off your student loans. And that is hot, because then when he says, oh, I got to work, I'm paying off my student loans. Guy's going to be like, what? All the other girls are like, oh, I need help. Can you help me with Randy? Help. Strong, independent girl boss. I need some help with Randy. Can you help me with Randy? I like to hang out, but I got to work an extra shift because I'm trying to pay off my student loan debts. Mr. Thaddeus McDickthorpe III, super hot, whatever guy that all the girls are chasing. All right. And you've all slept with him. And you say, I can't hang out with you tonight, Chatty's McDickthorpe III. I have to work an extra shift. He'd be like, whoa, that's different. Now, let's be honest, he's got a harem. It's very unlikely he's going to break away from those girls. Like, well, you're good with your finances. I shall settle for you. My goodness, I'm fine. But maybe not him, but another guy will be like, what? You got your financial act together? All these girls keep asking me for money. So do not be a financial liability. Then there is time. It's the same thing because time is money, because you got to give up your time to get the money. It's just as a different resource where instead of converting it into labor, going to a job, now he has his free time. He'd like to spend it with what? Probably you a little bit. So tell me if he's going to have an asset or liability when you're late, when you know where you're going to whatever restaurant it is, and it's 10 below zero. This is a Minnesota treat. And he parks the car and he's about to get out of the car, but you then decide to spend 5 minutes gathering your shit. I know it's only like 5 minutes, but it's still, that's a liability. It's annoying. Another thing is, are you an asset when you complain about work? Are you an asset when well, here's another thing. Let's talk about your house and your car. Is that put together? Is that taken care of? Is your computer and everything taken care of? Or is it, tee hee, I'm just a girl and I don't know about things like timing belts and stuff. I don't know. My car's not gonna know. I don't know. I don't know. And now he's got to spend his time fixing your problems. See, you're now a time liability. I understand there are men who don't have the shit together either. You want the top guy. You want a guy to commit. What if he comes over to your house and instead of you walking around in a little naughty nurse outfit making him food, he's got to fix your cupboards or your oven because you didn't do it? I I know someone, God bless her, nice gal. She doesn't know how to change a light bulb, literally. I'm like, are you kidding me? How is that fun for him? What do you mean? It should have just been. There's going to be a girl who probably does regular maintenance on her vehicle. Maybe she doesn't do it herself. She pays for it, right? But he goes over to her house instead of fixing all this shit because, you don't have your life together. This woman does have her life together. This is where a lot of guys, I don't know if you've seen the meme, but, there's some 304 posing for OnlyFans. And not only is there speaking of time, some other guy's kid, there's the biggest, most tremendous time sink ever. Can you drive my kid around? Fuck you. But she's posing, and unfortunately, there's the kid who doesn't stand a shot at ever making it in life, and her bedroom is just a mess. Like, is your house clean? Do you have your shit together? Or is a guy going to walk in and your life is so poorly mismanaged? Now you're a liability because he has to spend his time. It's not, and you say, well, it's not his problem. It's not his obligation. You're right. It isn't. But he's still, if he would like to go out with you and your car isn't working or you don't know I don't know. I'm trying to think of just something isn't working at the house that's important or your apartment that's important, and it's got to be dealt with. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to be free, right? Do you manage your life so that you are not a time liability? If someone comes in, they're like, well, I'd like to spend time with you, but you've so poorly mismanaged this. You didn't unclog the gutters and now water is seeping into your basement. I'm sorry to keep giving housing related examples, but those are the common ones. We're like, oh, now he's got to go down there with kills. Well, he doesn't have to, but if he would like to see you, now he's got to spend time cleaning up your mistakes because you're a liability. Instead of he shows up, maybe your house isn't Tim the Tool Man Taylor perfect, but it's put together and there's no liability. Yeah, let's go. You think a guy wants to, I don't know, clean a basement? Or do you think he wants to go on a picnic? Which one do you think it is he wants to be? And then there's mental energy. That unto itself is its own currency. Are you a pain in the ass? Do you like drama? Do you like faking that you have BPDD, BDBDP to test him? What are your friends like? What's your family like? Are you bringing drama into the household that he has to it's never his problem to solve, but it is his problem that he's got to deal with it. You get back from work and you just start bitching and whining about things at work, and it's a mental tax. And that's more of a time waster than a mental tax. But maybe, yes, people should hear about each other's problems in a relationship. But do you think he really wants to hear about it? And are you so bad at managing your own life and your own personality, etc., that there's drama and chaos and emotion? Like, it took me a while to figure this. Do you still cry as an adult woman? Why are you crying? There should be no crying. I've said that many times before. There should be no crying between two adults. What's wrong? What is the problem? This thing happened. Oh, okay. Well, let's make sure that thing doesn't happen again. There's no reason to cry. Or I just feel that crying, dude. You want to go from 0 to being a tremendous psychological mental liability? Start crying. Another thing, arguing. There's no arguing. There's reasoned discussion. And often arguing and crying go together. Get my latest book, Zero World Problems, where I argue, huh? Pun. I argue there should be no crying or arguing in relationships. No, we're having a normal conversation. We're going to be adults and empirical. That's the true thing. That's the problem with crying and drama and all that. Someone's usually being dishonest. But think about that. Which girl do you think he wants to have? The one who's got her life together, is mentally stable, and there is no crying and there is no arguing? Or little Miss Drama Cakes over there, where even though she's 35 years old, there's crying and drama. Which do you, that right there is, I understand you're a young lady, you got student loan debt because you majored in accounting. Okay, that I can see. Or you didn't have a lot of money, but you need a reliable car, need a car. I get that. Crying? Assuming someone didn't really screw up, there should be no heated arguments at all. What's wrong? Oh, well, I didn't know about it. Yeah, it requires an equally mature person on the other side. I didn't see it that way. I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. I shouldn't do that. No, I'm sorry, babe. I won't do that again. No, you're right. Thanks for pointing that out. If you know, the silent treatment. Oh, any middle school games, ladies, you're never going to be, hey, throw that fucking shit out right fucking now. All right. But really, what do you think the guy wants? Comes in, either obviously there's no relationship without its problems, but is there going to be crying and emotion and yelling and screaming over it? Like, oh, babe, you didn't. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Okay, I won't do that again. Yeah, that's right. And it's real simple. Don't be a pain in the ass. Be pleasant. Have your shit together. Make it so that when the guy, the goal, you should be, liabilities are payments that have to be made. That means less resources, whether it's money, time, and emotion, that can be spent on you and the fun shit. So if you're a single mom and your kid shit because you didn't raise them right, and you're crying because, I don't know, whatever reason, Lord knows why people cry. It's strictly a girl phenomenon over there. And you need car repairs because you didn't know to change the oil, so now you have to take out more credit card loans. What percent of that guy, of his time, is going to be spent having a fun time with you versus just cleaning up your messes or tolerating them? Because again, yes, I know, well, I pay for my own bills. Why does he have to walk into chaos? And if a guy's wanting to get married, we're not sex the fuck anything. Are you hot? Boom, there it is. That's sex. Commitment, relationship, marriage. You want to stand out from the rest of the girls, ladies? Don't be a liability. Now, we could argue about the merits of being an asset too. Like, okay, now, yes, fine, you're in great shape. You put on the sexy outfit, you make them food. Yes, that would help. You don't want to go too far where you kind of scare them away. When you get married and older or whatever, then you can certainly pamper him. If you do that too early, you're going to scare the guy away. Just let it be. Make him earn it a little bit on that. But more important, like, in other words, being an asset is more important down the road a little bit. Not being a liability is critically important immediately. And let's use here. You like the guy, right? You want to see him. You want to go on a date with him. You really like this. You've talked with him a little bit. You think you like us. You know what you should do? Show the fuck up on time on the date. You're not 5 minutes late. You're not tee I got to do my hair. He says, I'm picking you up at 6. Do you know what time you should be ready at? 5:45. And then he takes you to Chez Louis. No one's going to get that one unless you're from the 80s. And it's Chicago and it's cold. All right. You have your shit together so that when he gets out of the car, he's not waiting for you standing out there. Like the hurdles aren't that high here. You're sitting there at dinner. What do you talk about? Are you talking about something fun or a movie you watched? Or you read a book or some funny thing that you saw at work? Are you bitching and whining about your crotch fruit you had with another man and how Becky and Trisha are bitches at work? And then when he drops you back off, if you want to invite him up, does your place look like shit? Is he going to walk in and like, oh, he could sit down in a nice clean place, maybe have a glass of wine? Or he gets there and the faucet doesn't work, which again is not his responsibility, but men will naturally like, you want me to fix that? Now he's fixing it. And maybe you'd say, oh, good, I got him to fix it for free. He said, yeah, I went over that gal's house and the place was a mess. It smelled like cat shit. And her faucet didn't even work. So I had to go into the bathroom and wash my hands and do dishes in the bathroom. It was really weird. Which variation of you do you think is going to get Chattius McDickthrop III? Billionaire, philanthropist, surgeon, astronaut, investment banker. Which one do you think which version? So, like I said, it identified the three currencies: time, money, and mental energy, or being a pain in the ass. And stop and look and say, am I taking time? Am I taking resources away from him to deal with my liabilities? That if I didn't have these liabilities, him and I could go have fun. We could go on a picnic. We go for a walk, right? You don't want to have any liabilities. So his resources, as well as yours, because you're spending time and money too, are spent having fun. Or is it fixing shit because your life is not controlled? There you go. Link below. What do I got? Link below. I don't know. I think I got Zero World Problems. Link below. That'd be a good book, I guess, for you guys. I don't have a dating book for women because it's very rare I get girls that want dating advice. And it's kind of the same thing. Is there a way without putting in hard work I can get the girls? No. And usually girls are like, how do I get the guys? So be hot. Don't be a liability. All right. And I'm sorry. I think less than 2% of you girls in the US population are going to match those two things: being attractive and not being a liability, which should tell those of you who are actually interested in a guy, you'd be in the top 2% of the marriage market, not just the dating market, the marriage or commitment market, or whatever you want to call it. I'm giving you gold here. Well, I don't want to say that. Fine, then just go have sex. I don't care. You asked, I told you. Pringles can with veins, $2. But Cappy, it's not love if she doesn't torture you. Pringles? Well, with your dating escapades, you've told me. Maybe because we're not women, we don't know, right? But it would seem to me it shouldn't matter what sex you are. It should be very simple to both sexes. Okay, I should be attractive. I should be pleasant. I shouldn't be a pain in the ass, right? I should play games. I should be charming and funny. And that when they hang out with me, it's endearing. But man, I've been around the block several times. It's like, it was a minority, not rare, but it was a distinct minority of times where it was pleasant to go. It was always a pain in the ass. Where are we going? We're going to go over here. I don't like that restaurant. Fuck off. Fine. The number of times I just should have turned that damn car around. At least a third of the dates I went on. I should just turn that damn car around. Oh, we're going to the mall? Yeah, they got a movie in the thing. Oh, I always go to the mall. Okay, you know what? I'll drop you off in Eden Prairie with your dad, and then you could tell your dad what you want. making $6.90 an hour and save my money to buy a crap dinner and a movie ticket. It just wasn't fun. Pringles can with veins, $5. Hand to God, most women manufacture psychological BS to test men. When you leave them alone, you're toxic for not indulging or not. Well, you know what? And other people wiser and older than me would talk about that stuff like, there's shit tests, and it's human evolutionary biology. Women got to test the guy to make sure he could stand up to her, which means he'd stand up to a saber-toothed tiger and warlords and protect each other. And you know what? There could be legitimate, authentic, non-malicious reasons women do those things. I'm trying to tell my team women, the client, how about you don't do those things? I don't care how much, if it is true that your genetics are screaming at you to test him. You got to make sure he didn't do the dishes right. Go test. I got an idea. Like, how about you don't be that person and see what happens, right? The millionaire investment banker has a choice between two women, right? They're the exact same, except one nags him about the dishes or the garbage, and the other one doesn't. There's two girls the F1 race car driver could go out with. There's the one who, although she doesn't like the bowling alley he took her to, knows, she's not excited about bowling, but she knows I'm going to shut up and I'm going to just tolerate the bowling and just to be nice and kind of. And there's the other one like, I don't like bowling, right? And I'll tell you, girls can get away with it for a while because boys are horny and they'll just tolerate. But as the guys get wealthier and more assertive, which correlates, by the way, and they're more responsible and they got stability in houses, there's going to be the wife who is just like, hey, babe, how you doing? I got you a scotch. Versus when the guy gets home, this doesn't work, and little Jimmy shat his pants at school. There's two wives. One's got a much higher chance of getting cheating on it by that time. So I don't know why. Here's another thing. Well, we girls, we like to test with this. And if you've ever read women's magazines or books on women's feminist books and all that, yes, there's a lot more emotional, psychological stuff. I got an idea. What if we take that, all that psychological, emotional stuff, and we throw it the fuck away and we never deal with it again? I wonder if you'd set yourself apart from all the other girls, right? Mike ISS Jr., $5. Hope this goes through. Teaching abroad is a great way to scout abroad. Moving to Beijing to do it this fall pays great in functional society. Yeah, no, if you could teach English abroad, it's kind of like you're teaching English abroad. But yeah, you're getting overseas. I've had many people where clients are just through conversation, like, oh yeah, I've taught abroad. I discovered, Vietnam or whatever else. A lot is in China. Doc Paradox, $2. Checking to see if I can super chat stateside. Yeah, thanks, Doc. I appreciate all your help in helping figure that out. And it has come through. Plains Warrior, $2. Cappy so what are you getting on the short jokes too, Plains? Cappy so short, he shops at Baby Gap. I will have you know, Plains Warrior. Funny you mentioned that. That is my nickname at poker. Because one of the guys over there started calling. I was talking about Goodwill. He's like, I thought you shopped at Baby Gap. So now they all call me Baby Gap. I can't escape you people. Everyone's got to get in on the jokes. Pringles again were $5. Watch the cozy anime Camp Free Cooking in Another World. Guy gets sent to a fantasy world and his superpower is buying things from Amazon. What? Camp Free Cooking? Pringles, can you email? You keep recommending these obscure animes. Go ahead and email that to me. I'll take a look. And Doc again for $2. Cappy. We'll go with the short joke. The Cappy's so short he can't see the rest of this job. Joke. Oh, that's a joke. Doc Paradox, $2. Baby Cap, double down. Boom. I'm not gonna get worked up about the short jokes and that people call me Baby Gap with my poker. I'm fine with it. I don't control that. If everyone wants to do poop and fart jokes, make armpit farting noises and act like a bunch of monkeys, that's fine. Get it. I got your $2, Doc. I get you $2. That's fine by me. Shit, with Dre's $2 Donnell, that I could probably afford a car by now. I like how it's all guys in the chat room, not a single girl. So there you go, madam, and any ladies who care to listen. Just let's focus on not being a liability. Down the road, we can worry about being an asset. But right now, you're going to be way harder not being a liability than you are being hot and being a liability. All right, we'll see. Oh, yeah, and then link below is Zero World Problems, the book on Amazon. I'll see you guys later, Toodles.